Hello Year 7, in this video I'm going to give you an overview of how you can go about creating your own design ideas for your planter box. Here's an example. Hopefully this is the kind of thing that you're going to go on to achieve. It's got to be your idea, however, not just copying this. To begin, what I want you to do is start with a blank page or a piece of paper, and you'll need a ruler, a nice sharp pencil and an eraser. And you're going to start practicing the oblique and isometric techniques. Okay, we did these earlier in the year, so you can actually just label them oblique and isometric. Okay, I want you to start with pencil and ruler and then move on to freehand sketching. So this is just to recap on what we've done before. Don't forget, the oblique drawing is where you start with a flat face. So for example, I could start with a square here. I've just done it 3 centimeters each side with a ruler, and then each side is at an angle of 45 degrees. Now I'm going to do it approximately. I'm actually just going to go back 2 centimeters here, each side. Slide the ruler up 2 centimeters and across. Now as long as those 3 sides are roughly the same angle and the same length, when you connect it up, you end up with an oblique cube. Okay, if you wanted to make that hollow, as in looking like a planter, you could just do lines along the inside. Ooh, that's not quite right there, but you get the idea. And then once that's connected up, yeah, you've got what looks like a hollow box there. So that's the oblique technique. Once you've done that, I want you to do some freehand sketching. So you could start maybe doing a rectangle as your front face, 3 sides approximately the same length, and then join it up, remembering that these 3 are parallel. Yeah, they would never cross if they went on forever. And also these 3 are parallel, and so are these 2. And these are the same length as are these. And that means it's going to look approximately right. So you're going to do some freehand sketching with the oblique technique, and you can go off at different angles. Okay, so there you go. You can just practice first of all. You might be more comfortable with that. In contrast, the isometric technique, again, do some control practice first with the ruler. That starts with a vertical line. So whereas that started with a face, here you're starting with just a vertical line. And now when you're doing your side angles, you're doing it at approximately 30 degrees. Okay. So again, just get your sides, and then here, with this one, by the way, there's no horizontal lines, it's just at an angle. So get them going on, slide that across. Now don't forget, again, these 3 will be parallel, which means if they went on forever, they would never cross. Join it up, and then you've got an isometric cube. You see how that's different to the oblique one? Again, you can just draw lines on the inside to make it look like a hollow box, if this is what your planter box would look like. Yeah. Okay, so it looks something like that. If you want to make it look more detailed or more realistic, you can just shade it. I'm going to rush it. I want you to shade far more carefully than me, remembering different shading will be on different sides to make it look like they've got some shadow effect. So if you've got this side dark, then this side would also be dark. If that's light, then that would be light. And then you could just do a medium tone on the top, not pressing as lightly. Again, if you are shading, I want you to do it in a much more accurate way than me. Okay, and again, once you've done one control practice, then you could move on to some freehand isometric drawing. So if I did like a rectangle side there and a shorter side there, so there's an oblique sort of rectangle there. I might mix it up and do like a different shape here. I've got the letter H. If you Google isometric drawing, you can see other examples. Okay, so first of all, you're going to start either with the oblique or the isometric, one control practice, and then some freehand sketching. Okay, get the juices flowing, and then you can start doing your own design idea. Here is one. I've done like an L-shaped planter. I've got some chives, some thyme, and then some basil, and I've just added some annotations to explain my design. So this is one. I want you to do three. It's a good idea to include measurements. You could add annotations like soil here. Here I've written side plant that needs more water. That way you could remember this one might need more water than those two. It's just a design idea. I've said what the material would be. I've said MDF as a possible material. I've identified what joints I'm using here, butt joints. You could do other joints. And I've also added a comment that water protection would be needed, otherwise this MDF would rot. So that was a controlled practice. I used a ruler and pencil. That was the isometric technique. I might have another idea here too, and then I might switch to the oblique technique. It's up to you. I'm going to do this one freehand so you get an idea. This design idea, I'm going to be stepped like that. Okay, so it's kind of like a boot. And then I'm going to go off at a 45-degree angle, remembering these sides need to be the same length. Join that up approximately like that. And then I could just add some inner sections here. So I've got a low down section which could have soil in, and I've got this raised section up here. Okay, and I could have my herbs then coming out. I don't know what herb this would be, but you get the idea. And now all I would need to do is add things like measurements. So what is that measurement? I said, for example, 100 millimeters here, 250 millimeters here. Think about how big herbs are. You could add comments on the material. You could add comments on the joint you're using. Maybe the function. Okay, what are these different parts for? Why is one lower than the other? Okay, could be just aesthetics, it could be just how it looks, but there's two ideas. I want you to do three, and as I said, it's a good idea to start with some control practice and then some freehand sketching. You can choose whether you do oblique or isometric, but you know, by the end I expect three different nice ideas all annotated. Okay, good luck.